everybody. I wonder if you're missing reality quite as much as I am. So obviously missing the normal lessons. Thank you for everyone who sent me work and everything from last week. If you owe me anything, then please be in contact. I think one of the really important bits going forward is to try and up the level of contact going through. If you are struggling with anything, if you are unsure about anything, then get in contact with me as soon as possible so I can help you along, make sure we don't end up with any gaps. And please make sure that you are doing all the different exercises. Some of you are doing pre-chewed and not really getting beyond that, or not showing me the evidence beyond that. A lot of the work, however, is absolutely excellent. You're doing a really good job out there. Right, so we're going to have a look at what we've got for this week. So it's going to be a bit of a mix. We're looking at finishing off the stuff on the judiciary, and we're going to do some stuff on the EU. And I know you're all going to have something to say about that. Right, so different resources you're going to be using. You're going to be using that same booklet that you were using last week, looking at the relationship between the branches, which is the part of the spec that we're on. You'll also be using chapters 7 and 8 of your textbook, and doing a bit more pre-chewed again. The good news for those of you who aren't the greatest fans of pre-chewed, it's only 3 videos this week, so a little bit less of it. Right, so the different tasks. For task 1, you are going to be using those booklets, same booklets as last week, just a little bit further on, and I'll go through what you're doing on that in a second. Then task 2 is the pre-chewed on the EU, which is just 3 videos. It should be fairly straightforward. Task 3 is some more booklet work and it's all in the same booklet, some work on the EU. And then we've got a 4th task, which I would like you to create a Word document to put it all in, which is some further EU work. Right, so let's have a look at what it is I'm getting you to do, and you can all crack on with that through this week. Right, so the first bit from the booklet is just following on from what we were doing last week. There's some case studies to look at. And again, this is all part of what we're looking at in terms of building your knowledge and making sure you've got examples to go to when you're doing exam work, when you're doing discussion work. So you've got real kind of points of references that you can point to. Tasks 10 and 11 should be, task 10 in particular should be fairly straightforward. Task 11's got quite a long article attached to it. If you find the article a bit challenging, if you're finding that a bit tough, then the other area to be looking at is 172, 173 of the textbook, and in that we've got a nice bit where it looks at that question, which is what task 11 looks at. Is the Supreme Court too powerful? It looks at its unelected nature. It looks about its growing authority, and it's got some bullet points and stuff like that on that. So just finishing off the stuff on the Supreme Court, looking at this idea of judicial review, and just pulling it all together. So we've got that topic nice and finished off. Should be fairly straightforward. Again, any problems with the booklet, any problems understanding what it is you're doing, then please give me a shout. Right, so task 2 is some pre-chewed on the EU. Yes, the EU. I know we're leaving, it's still on the spec, so we need to look at it. We're not going to spend a huge length of time on it because of obviously Brexit and everything else. There are 3 videos and worksheets for you to do on pre-chewed. So if you go into the UK section, there is an EU section to look at. Again, shouldn't be hugely difficult. You are generally doing a really cracking job on your pre-cheweds and making sure that you're up to date with those, and you've got all the information in the boxes. If you get stuck on a box or several boxes, please drop me an email. Let me know, and I can help you, or I can tell you what the details are that you're missing. So we end up with complete work. So it's not something that you should be sat there fretting about if you're stuck, then please let me know and I can help you. Right, so task 3, more EU. Yes, I know, Brexit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we've left, but it's on the spec. So there's another video by Joe Thomas, who I think you all will have used her videos last week to help with the essay on the cabinet. So it's another one that she's done, looking at the beginning part of the EU and talking about the booklet that you're using. The work I want you to do out of the booklet, I want you to do tasks 12 and 13 on the development of the EU, which is also covered on pages 179 and 180 of the textbook. There's a video, the links there for you to look at as well for that. So we will start then moving on to other aspects of the EU. Right. Task 14 talks about the 4 pillars of the EU. These are on page 183 of the textbook. So again, you don't need to go hunting around endlessly trying to find stuff on there. Task 15, if you use 184 to 187 of the textbook, you'll find the details for that bit in there. Task 16 looks at the impact of leaving the EU. Obviously, if they're going to ask questions about this, this is the most likely area. Having said that, we won't be very long along that road by that point. So it's page 43 to 46 of the booklet. There's also a variety of web links and things for you to look at to help you with that one. Again, you'll find all of that in your booklet. Right. Final bit for this week. There's a couple of kind of big questions I want you to look at in terms of the EU. First of all, does it create a kind of democratic deficit? And there's a nice table on page 188, which has got the details of that bit of reading before that you can look at. What I want you to do is I want you to write 2 paragraphs for, 2 paragraphs against, and a conclusion on that. So you should just be able to pick that up from the stuff in the textbook, and then also the stuff that you've picked up from doing the other tasks in the booklet. I also then want you to do a bit of a diagram about the impact of the EU on British politics. It's page 189 to 194 of the textbook. You can do all this in a Word document. There are various mechanisms on Word which you can use to create a diagram. If you are going to do it on paper and take a photo of it, if you could please try and kind of cut and paste that picture into the Word document. It just makes me taking stuff off my emails a lot easier if the pictures are actually inside a Word document, because I can just save the Word document to my computer, whilst taking all these JPEGs off is proving a bit tricky. If you can't get it onto a Word document and you have to send it in that way, that's fine, but just try and see if you can do it the other way. And then we've got this bit about whether the leaving the EU was the correct decision. This is something I know you've all got really, really strong opinions on, so I'm expecting to read some cracking stuff on this. You'll have loads of knowledge on this. We've talked about it quite a lot in class already, but pages 194 to 199 will help you. And I just want you to write a paragraph explaining your view. So we're not in this one. We're not necessarily looking for balance. I'm just looking for a little bit, an opportunity for you to express your opinion. Again, something we do lots in class, which maybe not getting quite the same opportunity to do as normal. Right, so that's this week's work. If there are any problems at all, any difficulties, any worries, concerns, please drop me an email, be in touch, and keep a dialogue going. Right. Next week, we're going to move on to a new topic, and this is one we've spoken to you before, where we look at political ideas. Those of you who are keeping a close eye on my channel will have seen a whole number of videos going up already on this, on political ideas, looking at liberalism, and that's where we're going to start next week. If you've got time this week, on top of all the other stuff I've set you and everybody else is setting you, you want to get ahead, then watch those videos, and so that will start to put you in the picture in terms of what liberalism is and the different strands of liberalism and what they believe about different things. So there should be a nice complete set ready for us to work from next week. Right, so I hope you're missing the lessons. I hope you're looking forward to them coming back. But in the meantime, I'm hoping this is all keeping you occupied, keeping your brains going, keeping you on top of what you need to know and what you need to be doing. As I keep saying, any questions at all, please email me. If you're worried about anything, if you need some help, let me know and we will get through all of this together. Great. Well, I shall speak to you all soon. Hope you're well. Keep cracking on with your politics.